So before we start, there's going to be a format of appreciating ourselves so that we'll learn it before we start. We all here need to become rainmakers. Can you call down the rain? Is that very possible? Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's do it together. Let's do it together.
Increase it. 2. Keep it turning. 3 fingers. 4 fingers. Now it's raining. And then when it's thunder, you go.
You are welcome to this very important conversation. I would like to appreciate all of us for taking out our time to be here and to be here very punctually. This workshop could not be more timely. Why? Because on the 12th of June, the Nigerian Data Protection Act was signed into law. So now we have laws and guidelines that guide how we utilize personal data. And as controllers and processors of data, you are in the possession of different people's data. So it is very important that you know how to use this data, why to use this data, the laws that guide the usage of those data, the rights of the subject of that data, you know, the role of the Nigerian Data Protection Commission within this context. Because now that there are laws, if those laws are breached, there are consequences.
The data protection ecosystem in Nigeria is still evolving. It just started some few years back, and even globally. A lot of things, a lot of issues are still coming up that even you that have been practicing that sector for so long, you are still asking questions. Even among countries, even at the level of EU, take decisions, some will go to the right, some to the left. That is all about protecting human dignity, human interests, freedom, whenever we share personal data online. And the data protection officers play key roles in the different organizations, data compliance, advising the organizations, creating awareness, advising them what to do in data capacity building. They serve as a source of point of contact for data subjects, for data controllers, for data processors, just to oversee their data processing activities, which is the whole thing about data protection is all about.
Today we're going to run us through data protection workshop for the controller and processor. So this aspect that we'll be addressing is speaking to the leadership of how we govern data protection. So we're going to walk through this today, and we trust that by the end of the day, we'll be able to take whatsoever thing we've gathered as knowledge back to our environment and kick off implementation.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Lisa. I arrived Monday from Germany to attend these trainings. And I am part of this D4D Hub, the Digital for Development Hub, the EU, African Union, European Union project. So this project is a collaboration and wants to enforce collaboration between partners in Africa and the European Union. So this project is funded by the EU and implemented by 5 different European member states. So very pleased to welcome you here. I'm very happy that this room is full, that we are having 2 very good days. And I wish you a welcome and a good time in 2 days here. Thank you very much.
So you're not just wearing the cap of a DPO for decoration. If NDPC steps into your organization today, you should be able to speak on your organization's processes. They expect the DPO. In fact, when they come and visit your organization, after the top management, it's DPO that they want to see. So you should be ready, to have interactions with them, and provide necessary information where required. Now, the Act is mandatory for organizations that process or control personal data. So if you do not comply with these requirements, you don't have a choice. It's not a regulation that says, okay, you may or may not. It's a literal law. So there are implications. You can serve jail time. If there are breaches in your organization, you can now serve, they will take you to jail. Or even in severe occasions, you will no longer process data. So there are severe implications for non-compliance, which you can imply on your organization if you do not comply.
There are some countries in Africa today, they don't know what they call data protection. They don't have any acts. They don't even have a step to say they are into regulation. So there are some dealings you want to do as a country. It could be bilateral transaction. Some of the questions they ask you is your country whitelisted based on data protection? So if your country is not whitelisted, they know that you don't have regard for data. And in the first place, they will never consider you for that communication. Nigeria has actually keyed into that convention for the fact that we have made a giant leap and feat to have the NDPC Commission on board. Is actually a way of keying into that same convention. That means that we have gone from just having a regulation, we have gone to make it a law, which is an act in our country. If you look at all this, you discover that Nigeria is actually one of the foremost African nations pushing for this.
We have to do our data protections officers creed. So I pledge to safeguard the privacy and integrity of data, to uphold the principles of confidentiality and security. I will champion compliance and data protection laws and strive to build a culture that respects privacy for all. Thank you very much.
I have a very quick question. Are all transfers across the country or from one country to another considered as cross-border data transfers under the NDPA? The Nigerian Data Protection Act only acknowledges a data transfer to be cross-border when it is between a data controller and a data processor. So I can be in Nigeria today, right? And I'm providing my details to a controller in Egypt, Europe, France, Iraq. And it's between me and the data controller. That is not considered a cross-border data transfer under the Nigeria Data Protection Act.
So the Act has told us that it is important as data controllers and processors that you know when data or when consent needs to be sought. It's not all processing activities that require you to seek consent. I think we also had a discussion around that yesterday. So you need to be able to identify as DPOs, as data controllers, as data processors, when exactly am I supposed to actually seek consent? When do I apply other processing activities?
My name is Olatunji Olumide, representing Data Pro Group 1. From this scenario, the very first risk that we identified is financial data leakage risk. Not only financial data, personal is also there, but since this is the bank, so the big aspect, the high risk aspect there is the financial data.
So we identify a couple of risks. One of the outstanding one among them is cyber attacks. Second, we have data breach, which could lead to data loss. And also the fact that we are not in control of the system, keeping our data. So there's possibility of downtime that may lead to data unavailability. And this could also result into business disruption.
One of the immediate actions I will do as Secure Bank is to constitute a quick response team. That is, that will constitute of our in-house IT expert, and we also have someone from the communications team, so as to liaise with the public, calm them down and all of that.
So whatever you've gained here, please take it back to your organizations and ensure that they implement these things. Thank you so much. We wish you a safe journey back to your destination.